On today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how to manifest through future pacing, journaling, and reality transurfing. And if you don't know what all of these things are, I'm going to be explaining them on this video and breaking them down in a really simple way so that you know how to take these complex manifestation tools and law of attraction tools and start applying them in your life right now today. So let's get started. Hey, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And I am so excited about this video because these concepts have helped me so much in my life. So I've shared about it on some other videos before, but I really dove into this even deeper at the beginning of 2020 and end of 2019, kind of coming into 2020 before the world was hit with such a crazy year as we had with COVID. But I started diving into reality transurfing specifically, which is basically like a fancy word for future pacing, as well as a fancy word for kind of connecting to the quantum field, to the possibilities that already exist for you. And I like to literally picture it as like surfing, surfing the wave into a new reality. So shifting from your current reality and bringing you over into what it is you desire, into that future reality. So I started using these tools to change my self-image, the way I saw myself, and therefore the way I showed up in the world. Because you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again, thoughts become things. And so when you're in the thought of an insecurity or the thought of a doubt or a past struggle or trauma, that impacts the energy that you show up with in the world. That becomes who you are and how you're presenting yourself. So for a long time, I told the story of I'm just the girl who lost her brother and who was sexually assaulted and had this traumatic car accident and has all this anxiety and insecurities. And that was what I was telling myself. Those were my thoughts. And so that translated into my energy. So I literally used to walk and be afraid to take up space. And I would just kind of curl my shoulders in. I was very small, kind of coward. Not like a coward, but I cowered over. Is that the right word? I don't know. So I had to work on shifting, or I got to work on shifting into, okay, well, if I want to feel more confident, if I want to be changing the world and be a thought leader and be helping so many people, how would that version of me look? And that meant pulling my shoulders back, standing up straight, having this new posture, this new energy, realizing that it's okay for me to take up space and that in fact it's actually beautiful when I take up space. So all of these things that needed to kind of shift, but at the time, like I said, I was very attached to my old story, to my struggles and trauma. So where this all comes in, and I'm going to get to exactly how to do this and really make it super simple, because these names, minus journaling is obviously not that complicated, but future pacing and reality transurfing can sound a little bit complicated or maybe overwhelming depending where you're at in this journey. And so I know when I first saw reality transurfing and started reading books on it, I was thinking it was going to be this crazy thing and oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? It was very technical sounding in the book, but the breakdown is actually very simple and it's so powerful and profound. So I will get to that. But what we're doing here is bridging the gap from your current reality to your future reality. So as I said, your current reality right now, you are showing up based on your past and your past experiences. So you're actually translating the past every single moment, okay? And your future self, you could take a second even and pause this video and journal on it if you'd like to, bonus points, is what would your future self look like and feel like? Because your future self, I know for me, for instance, my future self wasn't someone who was insecure about how they looked. My future self wasn't identifying as a victim to her past experiences. My future self had really turned her pain into purpose. And so as long as I was living in my current reality, I was still so narrow-minded and so focused on the struggle that I wasn't energetically or mentally embodying the future self. So what we do through this process is bridge that gap so that you start to become this person before you even have any of these things. So before I had the platform, before I changed certain things in my life, I needed to become. So I needed to get clear on what would that version of me look like so that I can start to act and embody and show up like this every single day, which is then going to actually call in the reality to match it. This is where people get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the past, okay? Because as long as you are waiting for an external thing to show up, you're going to be waiting a long time, okay? It's the inner work. The inner work always comes first. So instead of waking up, doing your normal routine, thinking the same old thoughts, being insecure or anxious about the same things as yesterday, letting those thought patterns spiral the same way they always do, right? Instead of letting that be your day or your habit, you want to shift that, let go of the past. It's like, it doesn't really matter. We have this weird thing as human beings where we feel like, our past defines us. Again, I just shared my own example of how that did for a long time. The reality is that none of it actually matters at all. You could meet someone right now, they don't know anything about you, anything about your past, anything about your insecurities or traumas or anxieties. All that matters is that in that moment, you're probably feeling it. And so you are translating and bringing that forward into that relationship. But they don't actually have anything, they don't know anything about you. So they're not seeing it, they're not perceiving you that way. It's just that you're attached, you're holding it so strongly, right? So you are bringing the past forward into your current reality. And if you don't stop it, you're going to bring the past forward into your future, which means your future is going to be just like your present. It's all going to be the same because you're constantly just sliding your past with you and showing up the same way. And we can look at some of the older generations who have literally lived that their whole lives, and we look at how they still have the same thought patterns. They're really stuck in their old ways, There's many who are very closed-minded because it's just like they have taken their past and what they believe to be true, and they've pulled it for years and years, decades, okay? You have the power right now, because you're watching this video, to stop it and to cut that off and create a new future and a new story for yourself. So if you're finding this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please make sure you've subscribed and turned on the notifications so you're the first to be notified every time I release a new video. I'm so grateful to have you here, and if you have any questions as I go, please make sure to drop them in the comments, and I love to hear from you and connect with you. So you are going to, basically, here's the thing, right? We think that we need to achieve or something in order to feel like we have that future reality. But the thing we want to do is just pull the future to us now. So even though we don't have it physically, you embody it, you get into the beliefs, the energy of it right now, and then it will start to fall into place. So as I said, what I did for my future pacing in journaling was I got super clear on what that future version of me looked like, how they'd be feeling, thinking, acting each day, what their life would be, their habits, all of these different things. And I spent hours, hours every day. This has been my full-time job for like 8 years. It's just been personal development, mindset work, and energy healing. But I spent hours each day just reprogramming my beliefs around who I was. So I would read all these lists of papers of like, I'm already this, I'm so grateful for that, I'm so happy that I've achieved this. And as I read those things, I would get into the energy, the excitement of having them. And I actually have a video more specifically about this process and it looks like this. It will be linked down below as well for you, so make sure you check that out if you want extra tools and guidance on that. But I really dove in to that, to the energetics behind it. I spent hours meditating every single day, releasing different traumas, blocks, things that I had identified with and was still carrying without realizing it, and shifting into, you know, what does my future self look like? What do I feel like? What would I be doing every day? And all of these things help me to start to become that future self, which therefore just made the reality morph and fall into place around it. That's how I ended up in this beautiful, amazing mansion on the beach in LA with the most incredible human beings I've ever met, who are all doing really similar things in the world for sustainability, for spirituality, for travel, you know, veganism, literally like soul fam. And it all started to manifest because I aligned my energy first and I focused on being this version of myself already. And actually I have a video all about that, and it looks like this one, so you can check that out too after if you'd like. So what you want to do here is focus on the beliefs and the energy, and really just getting yourself into that high vibe place of already having, already having the things that you want and showing up like that every single day as much as possible. You're focusing on already having this future reality, because if you focus on this, I'm gonna draw, looks like a great drawing now, draw an X through it. If you focus on your current reality, you're gonna be like, oh, but I don't have the money in the bank, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I'm still struggling with this, and I'm frustrated about that. You're focusing on the negatives, and so of course you can't attract the opposite. If you're focused on something, you typically attract more of it. So you want to be focused on the future reality and being excited about it. Even if you're just like excited, even if there's that part of your brain that's like, yeah, but I don't have it right now. Be excited that it's coming. Be excited that on an energetic level and in the quantum field, it actually is already yours. Because when we connect to the quantum field, that limitless field of energy that connects all of us, there is no such thing as time. So your future, your past, your present, it's not linear. That's what I mean. It's not linear. It's all happening at the same time. So a version of you already has accomplished or achieved everything that you want. So celebrate it right now. Get into the energy. Be so excited about it because it's already yours in a parallel reality in the quantum field. So the more you connect to it, or the sooner you connect to it, the sooner you will see it show up in your life. And that's basically what reality transurfing is all about, okay? Repetition, you're just reaffirming. So if you're repeating, let's comment that down below. Repetition equals reaffirming my negative beliefs. Whatever you repeat, you reaffirm. So you're just like telling that story over and over and over again, repeating it. You're reaffirming that this is true for you. And we don't want that unless it's going to be something that's going to be positive and empowering, right? So we want to reaffirm the things that actually support us and who we're becoming. So start reaffirming the future reality. Start reaffirming your gratitude, your excitement for all the things that are in your field and are going to be showing up sooner than you think. So in order to actually do this, in the best way is to get super clear. Let's see if I can write this. Get clear on what you want. And I would focus on just like one thing at a time. If you focus on a whole huge list of things, it might be too much, maybe a little bit difficult to get your energy behind it every day. But in the reality transurfing books that I've read, they recommend to focus on one specific scenario. So the example that they give in the book that I really liked, but that's really easy to share, is someone who wanted to manifest more money. So the script, like the imagery that they wrote out to visualize and to read each day, was basically about how, you know, they were sitting at their desk in their office, they got a phone call that another client had come in, which meant that they made X number of dollars. They felt so excited and happy. They were really looking forward to working with this person. This money coming in meant that they could pay off their bills, or it meant that they could go on a holiday with their family and their kids. And they were so pumped to be able to do those things. So you want to bring in the senses, because the more you can feel it, the better it's going to be for you to really embody it, right? If you're feeling it, that's pulling it in so much quicker. So you want to bring in the senses around, in that example, you know, hearing someone on the phone telling them, oh, you've signed a new client, or blah, 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 or yes, I'm excited to work with you. Here's my payment information, right? Visualizing you hearing it. What are you seeing? He's seeing the office, he's seeing like the phone, everything else. What are they smelling, tasting, touching? Potentially, maybe there's nothing, but really bringing in as many senses as possible, and the excitement around what does this mean now that you have this. So if you're going to use a reality transurfing script and you're wanting to call in a partner, like get super clear on what that moment would look like, what it would feel like, how you know, and get into that energy. And when you do this, you want to do this as much as possible. So I always recommend to write this out, look over it every morning, and preferably every evening if you can too, just because your subconscious is extra sensitive in the morning and evening, right before sleep and right when you wake up, as well as like throughout the day. If you find yourself dipping in your energy or getting pulled back into your current reality of, oh, but I don't have them yet, or I don't have the money yet, shift into, okay, but what does it feel like if I did? And what is it going to feel like when I have this? And one of the things one of my mentors once told me was, I wonder how great that will feel. So instead of focusing on the negative and again being really consumed and narrow-minded where you can't attract anything, she would say, ask yourself, ooh, I wonder how great that will feel though when the money comes in, or I wonder how great that will feel when the soulmate's here with me. I wonder how great that will feel when I have my dream home. Because that, again, immediately asking yourself that question shifts you into the energy of the future reality of what you want to call in, okay? So basically, using these skills, also there's so much power in writing and putting your thoughts, your energy onto paper. So that's why the journaling process is so great. I highly recommend actually physically writing versus like typing this out on your phone. You could do both, so you have it on your phone and it's easy to read when you need it, but definitely make sure you write it out as well, because then also when you're looking at it before bed or in the morning, you're seeing your own handwriting, which also just helps to connect to the truth of, oh yeah, this is true for me, this is real because I wrote it. So your brain's gonna believe it a little bit easier as well, okay? So this is reality transurfing in a nutshell. Again, it's not crazy complicated. The name makes it sound a lot more complicated than it is. It's really about getting super clear on that specific image and that energy of what things are going to look like when you call in your desires. And then repetition. Keep reaffirming what it is you want to be true and keep bringing your energy into alignment with that as well. And then you're going to notice so many powerful things start to show up in your life. So please, if you feel open to it, comment down below. Let us know what you are going to be calling in, what you're manifesting right now, so we can all celebrate and hold space for it as well. There's so much power in energy and power in the collective. So, you know, I'm here to support you and call in your manifestations for you as well as everyone else in this community. So please drop it down below. Again, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you on the next video.